This video is brought to you by AKSIAS.
Let us start with a discussion on economy. Anyways, I thought of explaining a few questions on analysis based and fact based. Since most of you have heard the topic, let us park this for some time for the newcomers. Let us come back to the word called economy. What is economy? You said production. Okay. Using scarcity of what? Resources. Very good. If you look into the difference between two words, what is the word mentioned in your economy syllabus, paper 3? Can anybody read the first line, very first line? Open your syllabus sheets. Read the first word.
Indian economy.
Stop. Examiner has specified you to read about the word economy. Do not find any relevance without a prefix called a region, a territory, or any geographical element. You never read economy. Reading economy doesn't appears to be rational and logical. You always read economy with respect to a region or a geographical territory. In this case, since you are preparing for UPSC, you read about Indian economy. Then what is economics? Study of economy. Any other definition? Study of between who? Producer? Producer and consumer. Okay. What else? Any other definition for economics? Come again. Study of economy as a whole. What else? Economics shows growth aspects of a country. Well said. What else?
Deals with the resources which are available abundantly or scarcity.
Resources available abundantly or scarcely. Where do you find resources being abundant? Name some regions. You're saying something. Air, water, they are everywhere available. Using air and water abundantly, what kind of goods and services you can produce? Air and water. So, those countries who are having abundant air and water should be capable enough to produce electricity, right? Agreed? Then why Bhutan is having less per capita electricity consumption? It has got very good quality free air and huge water resource. Lack of technology. What else? Okay. Any other definition for economics? You're saying something. Very good. It deals with theory of economy. What is your name? Mauli. Rajamouli? No, just Mauli. Good. Now, what is theory of economy then? Wealth of nations? Sorry? Supply and demand. So, economy theory deals with supply and demand. Acha, production and consumption. What else? So, now using all these definitions and words, phrases, etc., try to define what is economics. There are all relevant components and words on the board. Study about? Okay. Basic worldwide accepted definition for economics is study of how societies use their scarce resources to produce valuable goods and services and distribute the same among its population. This is the most standard definition for economics. So, the standard definition is it is a study of what? Of how societies, countries, regions use their scarce resource. Why? Why you are using scarce resource? What is the objective behind using scarce resource? Because you have to produce something. What is that something called? Commodity or valuable goods and services. After producing valuable goods and services, what will happen? The country has to distribute among its own citizens, among its people. This is the most appropriate definition available for the word economics. Now, having said that, try to identify important words and phrases which are crux of this definition. What is important word or phrase? రాసారా డెఫినేషన్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఏం చెప్పండి అందులో scarce what? Resources. Is there any evidence to the phrase called scarce resource in societies? Isn't there any country which is blessed with abundant resources? No, not even America. Yes. How many of you agree with this statement? Yes or no? Question is, does any country blessed with abundant natural resources? Yes. One example. America. What else? In that case, America should not import crude from Middle East. And if you dig deeper into international relations, the present day turmoil in the Middle East was because of America's, attempt to grab oil reserves in Middle East. That is why it has intervened in another way, in the name of democracy. So if you consider the statement that America is blessed with abundant natural resource, then America should not import anything from outside the world, right? What is import? You are allowing some other country to send some goods or services into your country, and what will happen after import of a good or service? Again, you are distributing that to your population or citizens. That means no country is blessed with abundant natural resource. You find every country to be short of any kind of natural resource. One more example. Since America is not blessed abundantly, that is why it is importing from other countries, and you'll be surprised with this fact. India is having a positive trade with America. Only with 3 or 4 countries we are having positive trade. What do you mean by positive trade? We export more to America than we import from America. In that case, America is importing more goods and services from India. One more example. Of late, developing countries like India and China, along with developed countries, they are fighting with each other in Africa. You know why? Africa is blessed with huge natural resources. But what is the development stage of African countries compared with Asia and Europe? We call those countries as a third world countries. That means, in spite of having valuable natural resources, African continent was not able to witness growth on par with the Asian economies and European economies, right? Agreed with the statement? Now, what is wrong with these countries in Africa? Resources are available, of course, in scarce. They don't know how to produce. So, the next key word in this definition is produce. We are studying how a specific country is using its scarce resources to produce valuable goods and services. And then what? 3 key words in the definition are scarce resource, produce, and distribute. Somebody said production and consumption, study of production and consumption is economics. Between production and consumption, there is an important element called distribution. Based on this, the word distribution, you can classify the world economies into 3. State economy, market economy, mixed economy. State economy is that economy where the entire goods and services are distributed by the state to the people without paying any fees or any price. Market economy is that economy where all the goods and services are distributed by the market to the people after payment of some price or fees. Mixed economy is that type of economy where few goods are distributed by the government or by the state to the poor without any fees, and few goods and services provided or distributed to the population with some fees or price. You take India. Food grains are distributed by the government at highly subsidized price of 1 rupee, 2 rupee. Does the government distribute watches to the poor at subsidized prices? Perfumes, laptops? No. Some goods are distributed to the poor with minimum or no price. So the word distribution is important, production is important, scarce resource is important. The definition doesn't stop here. It studies how economic agents make decisions. Study of how economic agents in any country or society make decisions or choices about utilizing scarce resource of that society. What will happen after that? There's economic agents decisions or choices about how to use scarce resources available in that society will impact what? The same will impact the resources of that society. For example, India is having 1,000 tons of coal. How good or Coal India Limited is utilizing these 1,000 tons of coal will influence coal requirements in the future stage. How India is using its scarce natural resource will impact the availability of the same natural resource in the future. Okay, now, who are economic agents in this context? What else? What else? Market. Very good. Or can we say household? Or we can say individuals. So, economic agents constitute government, organizations. When I say organizations, I mean banking, market, etc. Individuals or households and private firms. These four are called as economic agents. In some textbooks, these four were given as or termed as four sectors of economy or four pillars of economy. Your individuals or households, private firms, government, organizations. Okay. Now, so the decisions made by these economic agents will impact your society, your country. Now, economics is a study of how resources are allocated. Right? Agree with the statement? How your resources are allocated. So this is about the word economics. Now come to economy. What do you mean by economy? Study of somebody said all. Who? Huh. Come again. Very good. Study of a region's activities. Now, what is economic activity? You said economic activities. Now, try to define economic activity. Can I say production? Okay. Wait, slowly. Somebody said production. Then what? Then again consumption. Huh. What else? Again demand. Price determination. What else? Quality. Quality doesn't fit under economic activity. These are called as economic activities. Now, using scarce resource, you are producing some goods and services, and you are distributing the same goods and services to your citizens accordingly. Citizens are consuming. When you consume something, I mean to say a basket of goods and services, you do not give equal importance to all the goods and services you consume. Do you do that? No. For example, you consider a food basket for a month or for a week. What all you consume in that week, try to understand which ingredient you consumed more, which ingredient you consume less. The ingredient or the component in your food basket which you consume more, that means you are demanding more. That means keeping the increasing demand among the public, the producer, whoever it is, producing that good should increase its production. Why? If he or she doesn't increase the production, there will be scarcity. So according to the demand, producers are increasing their supply. After demand and supply are settled down, producer will induce some changes in the price of the commodity produced. Why? Because profit. Producers of goods and services are not doing any charity, are they? So in any economic activity, profit or welfare is the motive. Only two motives in any economic activity: welfare or charity or profit. They increase the price, decrease the price based on what? Demand and supply. After increase or decrease of price, they may witness two things: either profit or this entire activity is called economic activity in the study of economics. Now, in economics, we study how resources are allocated. Economy speaks about how a country is utilizing those resources. Again, you come back to the very basic definition. Economics is a theory. There are certain rules, regulations, principles to be followed. Using the rules given by a discipline or subject called economics, economies worldwide will change certain rules to suit their domestic environment and apply those rules to begin or to continue economic activity. How many of you understand the statement? అర్థం కాలే ఏమి? Economics deals with allocation of resources. How economic agents make their decisions in utilizing society's resource and the impact on the society's resource. What is economy? Study of a region's economic activities. Now, when I say study of a region's economic activities, we are studying a region's economic activities from the perspective of what? Economics. Now, it is a discipline. What is a discipline? No. Systematic study is called a discipline. It is a theory. What is a theory? Some postulations or some statements based on some assumptions with little evidence. That is called a theory. In every theory, you will have certain presumptions. You assume something. Okay? And then, based on those assumptions, you made some statements. To validate your statements, you provide some evidence. This is called theorizing any subject. It is about principles. How societies use their scarce resource. How? That means there are some principles. How to use. And distribute the same among its population. There are different ways, different rules. I have given examples. State economy, market economy, mixed economy. This is called economics. Now what about economy? Whatever we learn, study from economics, we apply in a particular region, because economy is always associated with a geographical entity, right? In this case, we deal with Indian economy, right? Using rules, principles, theories learned in economics, we apply them, but no country will apply the theory as it is in its entirety. Why? Every country is having scarce resource. That is a common point.
There is like demographic and cultural change everywhere. So
Change. Think about better word. You take car, huh? Huh. That is because car's mileage is determined based on predefined laboratory conditions, provided you maintain absolute balanced pressure in your tires and you should not accelerate as much, and the roads are clean, neat, without any bumps, etc. Huh. So there is a difference between car mileage in practice and in claims made by car company. Huh. So what?
assumptions made. Like in theory, we make an assumption. It might not be on ground.
Whatever assumptions made in the discipline called economics may not be true in economy. What else? We do not accept or we do not adopt any economic theory in its entirety, because there is an important word called no two countries are alike. There is socio-political economic diversities existing among the countries in the world. We take Pakistan, India. Geographical similarity is there, but there is a social diversity. When I say social diversity, I am referring to social indicators like education, health, sanitation, etc. You look into the literacy levels of India and Pakistan, unemployment rates in India and Pakistan. There is geographical similarity. Climate is almost similar, soils are almost similar. Rainfall, temperature, everything is almost similar, because both countries are lying in between two tropics. But there is social and political diversity, political instability. How does political instability is related to economy? Again, go back to the example of African continent. Most of the African continent is politically unstable. You know that? Wherever there is political instability, there will be no economic growth. Why? To economic growth, there is one prerequisite. What is that? Not centralization of power. The one who is responsible for economic growth should come and invest. Who has to come and invest? Private firms. Why would any company go and invest in Naxal affected Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh? They don't. That is why in India, Eastern India is less industrially developed compared with Western India and Southern India. You take Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, industrially developed states. Why? There is no instability. Law and order is absolutely fine. There is no political instability. So, there is diversity. That is why any country using economic knowledge, rules, principles, theory, whatever it is, you make some changes and you adopt those changed theories into practice. Now, if it is theory, economy is called practice. How do you practice? After learning the theory. Without learning the theory, you cannot practice. Can we? No. So, try to understand the difference between economics and economy. This is a basic fundamental discussion.
This video is brought to you by AKSIAS.